Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with some more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. This is actually a live cast. Black Iron Battles and Gojira Gaming are about to square off here. Black Iron's taking the Dwarves, and Gojira has taken the Greenskins in a classic underground matchup here in the Mushroom Cave just for y'all. So let's get to the army compositions very quickly. For the Dwarves, we've got Ungrim Iron Fist, line of Longbeards with gray weapons, some regular Longbeards over on the other side. We've got some Thunderers, some Slayers. One of them is the Dragonback Runesmith, and yeah, fairly straightforward Dawi army. If we look at the Greenskins, they've gone with largely the same idea, relatively straightforward, with some Black Orcs, Biggins in the center, and some more Black Orcs. He's got Skulkers out to the flanks. Looks like some Orc Boar Chariots, so we're definitely going to be in for some Sioux Pig action. And yeah, Azag on foot, interestingly enough, with the Rusty Arrows and a Night Goblin Big Boss, or just a Goblin Big Boss rather. And ooh, way over in the corner we've got Mangy Marauders. No artillery for the Dawi, very interesting, just going for a very headstrong approach. They're going to be covering this marshy area with their guns. You can see the lines of fire there. These overlapping lines of fire are going to be very scary for the Greenskins to just advance straight into. So let's see if these Thunderers are going to set up and start firing. Looks like the Orc Chariots are now coming into range, so the Thunderers coming a little bit far forward, but now getting some really nice shots off. Ooh, some good damage going down into those Black Orcs. Nothing crazy devastating yet, but if given enough time, they'll definitely do some work. And some nice damage going down there. More damage on the, ooh, definitely on the Boar Chariots. It's a very good idea. But he's probably going to need to pull those guns back pretty soon, or rather just march his infantry forward. Interesting. I would have thought he wanted to take the engagement up on the hill here on the high ground, but it looks like Black Iron moving to actually meet the Orcs in the flat ground. The Slayer's going to catch these Boar Chariots here. Very good catch. The Thunderers are now secure in many aspects. Going to be firing away. Ooh, the Ironbreakers tossing in their charges there on the Biggins, which is a very good choice. You can see the armor sundering in the center as well to help those Biggins from that Soul Blight there from Azag, so very good use of the Soul Blight. You can see the Thunderers pulling back, trying to get into a safe firing position, but those, man, with the Wa, these, those Longbeards are going to be suffering pretty badly to those Black Orcs. You can see these Thunderers have got caught up a little bit here, and the Grumbling Guard just getting absolutely chewed through by Skulkers and Black Orcs there with the Wa effect up, so yeah, definitely in for some rough times. They should stabilize there a little bit there if they're able to get some missile support, but Chariots running around in the back line is definitely an issue, but the Slayers are doing a reasonably good job of dealing with them. That being said, ooh, Ungrim mixing it up with Azag. Azag's definitely not going to want to take that engagement. He needs to get out of this situation ASAP, because Ungrim will absolutely tear him to pieces, especially with the Runesmith there helping, and Azag not pulling back yet, and that's a big mistake by Gojira there. Ooh, a nasty hit from Ungrim there. I didn't catch if he had, ooh, looked like he had Red Ruin up, so no surprise there. He's able to see off those Orc Boar Chariots in the back line. A nice gun position from these Thunderers here. He's getting a nice crossfire into this group here and into the group in the flat area there. So far, a pretty decent battle, and it looks like the Dawi, which had gotten a rough engagement initially, going to be starting to pull this one back a little bit. Dragonback Slayers having to be used against nasty Skulkers, which is not necessarily what either unit was meant for in reality, but the Slayers are definitely going to carry that engagement no problem, and then set those Thunderers free to fire. They're definitely going to need to start firing, because a lot of these Black Orcs are still relatively healthy. This side is definitely going in favor of the Dawi, though, with the guns on position to fire in. The Skulkers are about to rout. Granted, those Grumbling Guard are just about gone as well, so can the Dawi line hold long enough to let the guns do their work? That's the question at this point. Azag's leadership is very low, so if he can get a beat, I would think that Black Iron wants to try and shoot Azag himself, and he looks like he's doing just that with that group of Thunderers on the high ground there, getting a nice volley in on Azag down to only 500 HP. Probably one more volley would about finish him off here. Let's see. Oh, Azag's getting so low, down to 200, 100. Oh, only 20 hit points left. Holy cow, yeah, he's gonna rout. He's done. That being said, though, the Chariot coming in at the last second and knocking over those Thunderers, so they're not able to get another volley. Man, Azag just barely escaping by the skin of his teeth there. But Ungrim fighting in the front line is definitely going to help, and these Norgrimlings Ironbreakers with their massive melee defense, now that there's no support for the Black Orcs, it's going to be really hard for them to cut through those Norgrimlings Ironbreakers there. So there are still a couple Orc War Chariots on station. Oh, no, looks like they shattered promptly upon hearing me say that, of course. These Thunders, unfortunately, have been inundated by Black Orcs. I said, of course, this flank was going in favor of the Dawi, but it's actually the center that's held pretty effectively. Mangy Marauders trying to interrupt some of these Thunders from firing, but at this point, looked like Azag went down there. I'm not sure from what. Must have been some long-range fire from something. But at this point, the guns are on station, getting a very effective crossfire, seeing off the last of those Mangy Marauders, and now the Greenskins are in a pickle. They've got no mobility, they've got Black Orcs, Skulkers, and more routing off over on this side. And yeah, the balance power is in a very critical state for the Greenskins. And man, what a battle. Well played to both players. Definitely glad these guys are allowing me to cast their game here. Of course, I'll have a link to both channels down in the description below. Gojira and Black Iron, both really, really cool guys, really great friends, and yeah, definitely I recommend checking out both their channels. Watch these Skulkers come in here, try and get a heroic side charge. I guess as heroic as a goblin can be, which is not very heroic at all, but they're going to charge in the side here and maybe do a little bit of damage. The Greenskins actually hanging on a little bit longer than I thought, but once those guns get on station, that's going to be all day. So Dawi firepower definitely carrying this one, and man, I'm so glad that the handgunner bug, quote-unquote, I know it wasn't strictly handgunners, but the line of sight bug in general has been fixed, allowing those Dawi Thunders to get the work done, and very well played to both players. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. We'll go through a bit of a breakdown. Yeah, Gojira just, I think, invested a little bit too heavily in the Black Orcs and ended up paying the price. Getting Azag caught out there by Ungrim was a big mistake as well. Ungrim had that red ruin up, and he just punched Azag in the face, man. Ungrim, just an absolute boss. Definitely like that pick, and ended up being very effective. The Dawi front line, it was pretty rough. They definitely didn't get a lot of kills, but they managed to hold on long enough to let the guns do the work. The Ironbreakers, you can see, the Norgrimlings Ironbreakers were the one frontline unit that pretty much didn't get touched, just with their insanely high melee defense. It's hard, even with the wall going, for those Greenskin troops to get solid contact. But yeah, Thunders definitely MVPs in this matchup. The Slayers did quite well also, it's particularly the Dragonback Slayers in dealing with the Chariots. They helped deal with the Skulkers. Just a really nice pick in this particular matchup. And yeah, for Gojira, the Chariots were able to get some work done. That initial charge was really nice. He really ground through a lot of the troops in the initial wall there, which is always important for a Greenskin player. But again, getting Azag caught out was definitely the mistake there, and then just didn't really have enough mobility, I think, didn't have a wide enough army. And with the Greenskins, you can definitely go very wide against the Dwarfs. There's a number of different things that you can do. So just in terms of a theory crafting here, I know I've kind of memed a bit and talked about like an all Vanguard Gobbo army against the Dwarfs, but I honestly think that has some merit. And even if you don't necessarily want to go all Vanguard, if you want to go a bit more traditional, grab maybe 2 Black Orcs. I do think the Azag can be pretty decent in this matchup, although if most of your troops are going to be armor-piercing, maybe you don't necessarily need the Soul Blight, and maybe you should consider Azag or someone else. I honestly quite like the Gobbo Great Shaman in this matchup because he has such high mobility. He can get the heck out of dodge when he's getting shot at. No dwarf can keep up with him even close when he's on his wolf, and he also has Vanguard, so if you want to go all Vanguard you can. Curse the Bad Moon's honestly not too bad against the Dwarves, and then I also take Itchy Nuisance and Sneaky Stabbin'. Pretty cheap. You can also grab the Crown of Command, which is a decent item because it's a single target, unbreakable, which, for a relatively low morale faction like the Greenskins can definitely be useful in the right situation. So yeah, we're going to grab the Gobbo Great Shaman, and we'll have him. We'll get the 2 Black Orcs. Definitely want to grab both Regiment of Renowned Gobbos. Both the Armor Sundering and the Fanatics are very good here, so we'll grab some of them. Let's see, Squig Hoppers are definitely an MVP in this matchup, so we'll grab Durkit Squigs and 3 other Squig Hoppers. I honestly quite like Night Goblin Fanatics. Now, it does require some micro to get the Fanatic casts off in the right place. But if you can, they can do a devastating amount of damage. And moreover, they have a silver shield. You know, they have a good missile block chance, so they can kind of take that fire on the way in. And, you know, they don't necessarily have the AP, but if you support them with things like Skulkers, let's grab plenty of them. So something like this with a strong gobbo line, you can swarm the back line pretty effectively. You'll still win, especially with the Wa pretty hard on the front line. And with 2 Black Orcs kind of giving you some extra punching power, I think something like this could work pretty well. Obviously, there's no range component. You could go in and maybe add, you know, Orc Air Boys. If you want to grab the Rusty Airs, that's probably not a bad idea. Maybe you grab them and maybe a couple Orc Air Boys or something. Maybe you try and figure out some costs and grab the Hammer of Gork. Can be pretty decent, especially since you're going to be probably going at the Dawi and they don't really have the mobility to get at your artillery. It's relatively safe usually to just kind of leave your artillery to the side. Mangy Marauders are also super solid here. You could even go a little bit memeier and grab some chariots. The Goblin Wolf chariots, honestly not too bad here. The Orc Boar chariots, a little bit more expensive. They can get some good work done, but let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching. Big thanks to Gojira and Black Iron for letting me cast their game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.